Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday, the 1st of June 2022. In today's Millwall news, we had this, which is two of the first team coaches are leaving at the same time. Now, you may or may not know who these people are, but we're going to find out about them anyway. Millwall Football Club can confirm the departure of two first team support staff following the conclusion of the 21-22 season. Joe Carnell, the Lions technical coach, and Lawrence Bloom, Millwall's head of performance, have left their posts. Carnell joined the club with Gary Rowett in October 2019 and has worked as part of the senior squad's coaching team and alongside other departments over the course of the past 2.5 seasons, contributing significantly to 8th, 11th and 9th place finishes in the Championship. During that time, he has stepped down from his position to pursue new opportunities in the future. Bloom arrived at Millwall in June 2016 with the responsibility of enhancing the club's sports science and performance functions and helped the Lions achieve promotion from League One at the end of his first season at the club. He's been an integral member of staff for 86 years, helping with the overall effort of consolidating the Lions in the top half of the Championship in recent campaigns. Everyone at the club would like to wish both Carnell and Bloom, who is joining Cambridge United, the very best of luck in their future careers, thank them for their outstanding efforts, commitment and professionalism throughout their respective time with Millwall. Indeed. So what's this all about? What is it all about? So one guy's just left. Doesn't seem to have another job lined up yet, just left. And one guy's left and gone to Cambridge. Now you would think leaving Millwall and going to Cambridge is not much of a pay rise. Maybe it is. I don't think is going to be a bit of a pay rise. But here's the thing: if you leave London, everything is cheaper, more or less, depending where you go. I don't know about you. If you're living in London, if you've noticed, everything's getting more expensive, and it seems everything's getting worse. There's a lot of scumbags around. The transport's turning to shit because Sadiq Khan run it into the ground and it's fucking bankrupt. Everything is kind of going a bit shit in London. So there are a lot of people. If you leave London, everything will be cheaper. The cost of living will be cheaper. Finding a place to buy a house to live in will be cheaper. Rent will be cheaper. Everything will be cheaper. Transport costs will be cheaper. Yeah, so even though he's gone from Millwall to Cambridge, he's probably not getting a massive pay rise, but all of his expenses will be less. So there is that. So and you've got a better quality of life. A lot of people just looking at what's happening to London at the moment. You can see it's just turning to shit around us. Fucking graffiti everywhere, no one seems to give a shit. Rubbish everywhere, no one seems to give a shit. Scumbags when you go through the train station, not paying for a ticket, just barging their way through the fucking barriers. It's just wall to wall fucking scumbags everywhere you go now. And I don't think it's gonna get better soon. So if you want to live a good life, it looks like you're gonna have to get out of London, which is a shame. But maybe that's what's happening here, or maybe it's not. I don't know. Now the other one is Joe Carnell. That's a bit weird one. Now he's the one who's flat sharing with Gary Rowett in his flat in Canary Wharf. So that is a bit weird. Is Gary Rowett doing things as annoying Joe Carnell? Is he leaving the toilet seat up or down? Does he leave hairs in the shower? I don't know. Does seem a bit weird, but especially this is both announced on the same day. I don't know what that's about, but there you go. You got two members of the coaching staff leaving. Don't forget, we've already had Callum Davidson left before he came in with Gary Rowett, and he left earlier in before, a couple of seasons ago. So what does that mean? Does it mean anything? I don't know. Gary Rowett, does he know when people around him are not happy and he wants them to leave and go and do something that they enjoy and are happy about? Or not only that, but so you brought in this guy Harvey Bustle as well to be the head of recruitment. Now he left. Now that wasn't he didn't leave of his own volition. I think he was fired or let go or something like that by Gary Rowett said people at the top of the clubs. So it's either John Barrelson or Steve Kavanagh. So I don't know what's gone on there, but Gary Rowett's sort of tried and trusted people that he's got around him have left. Callum Davison, Joe Carnell, and players as well, like Alex Pearce. I think he knew Alex Pearce quite well from Derby County, so he's gone as well. And what's going to happen in the future? Who's coming in? Who's he going to replace him with? We don't know. Are the club going to make the appointment and not consult Gary Rowett? Are the club trying to make it so sometimes when you get a manager at a club, he has all his own people around him. When he decides to leave, he goes to another job. The whole coaching staff are gutted because he takes them all with him. So are Millwall trying to stop that from happening? And so that the manager doesn't have his own personal favourites around him. That if he leaves, the whole coaching, first team coaching setup just leaves with him, and we're just like cut adrift, and we're having to scramble to fill places. And if the club appoint the people around Gary Rowett, they're the club's people. Seemingly now they might grow to like Gary Rowett, and he can convince them to maybe leave with him if he leaves, or you never know. So there you have it, and that joins a number of growing job vacancies that you can see here. I think the ones that Joe Carnell and Max Bloom was it Max Bloom? Lawrence Bloom, sorry. I think that's first team data analysis. I think that was Joe Carnell's job. And lead physical performance coach, I think it was Lawrence Bloom's job. And we also have now ticket office assistant, ticket office staff, Sevenoaks district football and sports development officer, primary stars and schools coordinator, a youth and community manager. So all these jobs available as well. If you wanted to find them on the Mill website, they are on the tab more, on the tab club. And then you go down to job vacancies if you wanted to check them out. And today the club put up seeking performance chef. So what is that about? Now the other day they were advertising for a head chef, then they advertised for a coffee chef for the training ground. I think this was. I think at the den, I think they use a company, I think Sodexo or something like that, to do the catering. Meal seeking performance chef. Now is this the same thing as the head chef? I don't know. It seems to have similar job description. So Millwall Football Club is hiring a performance chef for its training ground in Bromley, providing food and beverages of the highest nutritional value possible. The role holder must show understanding of the nutritional breakdowns and the ability to tailor individual meals for certain players in order to meet their dietary requirements, allergies or performance needs. For a full job description and details of how to apply, click here. So let's have a look at this and see if it matches up with the head chef job that they were advertising a couple of weeks ago. So here we have it. Located at the Mill training ground, 40 hours a week over 5 days. Okay. Thorough communication with the hotels prior to away matches in order to ensure all the necessary steps have been taken to deliver top class food when on the road. Control stock check, ordering and replenishment whilst working to an annual budget and ensuring financial performance. Along with the club nutritionist. So the club have a nutritionist. Help deliver educational sessions from time to time which help players develop cooking skills or basic understanding of food hygiene. So you have to teach the players basically how to cook. Damn. The performance chef will manage all kitchen personnel, providing a professional working environment for all staff, ensure all team members are working towards the same standards in the kitchen. So it sounds like it's the head chef job, but they've renamed it. Maybe they couldn't get a head chef, or it wasn't really. What do you need a head chef for? Like, if you've only got 2 chefs there, a head chef and a commis chef, why do you need a head chef? So it sounds like it's that, but reworded. This is basically the same stuff that I brought you about the other day. So personal skills, you need to have some. E means essential and D means desirable. Early start, 7 AM. Fuck that. There you go. And like I said, it joins a number of growing job vacancies that the club is advertising on its own website. And you can see this one here had a number of views. That I think that chef one had about 1,000 views, which is quite incredible. So we're going to move on now to this, which it's about the training grounds application, but it's got a few more quotes because Steve Kavanagh spoke to the News at Den and they gave them an interview, which maybe or may not be in the newspaper, and it seems they've put some of it up early on the website. So let's have a look at this. Millwall Chief Executive on new training ground and application challenges plus funding. Millwall CEO Steve Kavanagh believes the Lions' proposed new training ground is an important step in helping the club to continue and grow and develop. After more details about the development were released this week, Millwall are planning to relocate their training base to West Kingsdown in Kent. The Lions intend to submit a planning application this month and hope that the state-of-art development, which will be on 50 acres, will be completed by August 2024. In a statement on their website on Monday, Millwall said that the objective has been to develop a contemporary and unique design solution that is rooted in the local area, but that is also fit to meet the aspirations of a forward-looking and dynamic club looking to provide high-quality training facilities for its players and the local community. Kavanagh further elaborated on the plans this week when he spoke to News at Den. And this is the new stuff. It's an important step in building the long-term future and sustainability of the club to give it the platform to continue to grow and develop, Kavanagh said. Over the last 5 years or so, the club has moved forward. In the last 3 years, we've been on the edges of the playoffs. What we need to do now is to make sure the infrastructure around us allows that development to continue and to keep moving the club forward. The 2 training sites for the first team, an academy at Calmont Road in Bromley and Blackheath Rugby Club. Now, I thought it was in Eltham. I believe Blackheath Rugby Club is kind of on the Eltham Blackheath borders, kind of close to Kidbrooke as well. So I think that is the one in Eltham. We don't own either of those. They're leased, so we don't ultimately own and control how we develop those sites. Those sites are at least 6 miles apart, which leads to logistical complexities. You've then got staff based at the Den, so you've got staff on 3 different sites and you've got players spread about. Because you don't own those sites, improving them and moving them forward to modern facilities is difficult. You can't start knocking down buildings and building at Calmont Road because we don't own it. If you did own it, it's only 15 acres and therefore nowhere near big enough to really warrant the investment you would require to build something. And with the expiry of those leases heading at us like a fast approaching train, we've taken the view to try and find some land to develop something that will be ours, that will be an asset of the club. It's a balance sheet asset, but also an asset in terms of development of players and how we bring players through to that first team. Kavanagh said the club will look at other training grounds once the planning application has gone through. What do you mean? What? What's that about? Kavanagh said the club will look at other training grounds once the planning application has gone through. What does that mean though? I don't know what that means. In terms of what copy and what they do? Oh, hang on. There's more here. Kavanagh continued. There's a well-established setup of how training grounds are laid out. Our search for a site was over 3 years. It wasn't easy. This is the only site we found that we could even consider starting to take forward. On that site, it's 50 acres, excluding ancient woodlands, so 50 acres that we can put pitches on. There's another site which we also own there as well on the other side of the M20, We're not touching that. That's a farmer's field, and we'll leave that as a farmer's field. We're focused on the planning application. Of course, what we will do at some point is look at how other training grounds are set up. In AFL, which is the architect we selected for the redevelopment of Den, we used them again, and they've got vast experience in building training grounds and looking at training ground layouts. At this stage, we rely on that, but of course, at some stage, we will get around to some other sites. But we've got to get planning first before we get to that phase. Snoozer then asked Kavanagh how much the project would cost. Kavanagh replied, at this stage it's not something I really want to get into because we've got to get planning. It's a complex site, it's green built, permitted development and green built is recreational use. However, the site doesn't have any buildings on it, so we need very special circumstances, and this is a complex planning application. Because of that, we have to be very sensitive in our work to that, to the local environment, to the fact that it's green belt and how we do it. Way over 90% of the site will still be green and recreational use, but we have to accept we've got to put a building on there, and we have to put the indoor dome to ensure our academy status is secure. So first and foremost, we'll get the planning application through. We've got rough, broad ideas, we've got outlines, but that's not the key components at this stage. That comes next. I can spend a whole lot of time getting engineers in, value engineering. What's this going to cost? What's that going to cost? That's once you've got planning. At this point, we're focusing on what's needed. Clearly, it's not going to be cheap because building pitches is an expensive hobby. Building indoor pitches is very expensive. Building buildings in this day and age isn't cheap. How we fund it and how we build that out is an asset that we're building, so we will be exploring all different avenues of how we fund that and how we do that. At this stage, that's really loose. I'm focused on planning, getting the planning through and making sure that we can actually go and build this. Well, I was just going to mention like how did they pay for the land, and how did they use the money from the George Savile transfer to pay for the land? Said they've had it for 3 years, or was it one of JB's loans? So you would think we'll have to get a loan from JB for this, and he'll give us a loan at very cheap rates, maybe over a long amount of time, and we'll have to pay it back probably when we get in the Premier League, if we get in the Premier League, and pay it back. Or if we have another standout player that we can sell to a Premier League team for a lot of money, then we're going to have to repay the loan. And what we're saying here is like, now, so let's have a look at this. So they've got this plan, they've got all this planned out, but then he says, oh, we have to get a planning application first, we don't know how much this is all going to cost. You've literally got this whole thing planned out, so how do you know not how much it's going to cost? Now, is it even going to look like this? Because he said, well, we'll get a planning application first and then we'll decide on the details. Now, so it's like what happens with a lot of things now. They get a planning application, they put that in, they get the permission, and then they change it. They're like, oh yeah, can we do it like this instead? Can we do it like this? What you find is they'll put the planning application in for a block of 5 floors or whatever, 3 floors, but they'll do it in a way that in the future they can add a couple more blocks to it, and another couple of floors, and but that's the plan all along. But they know if they put in a planning application for a 6-floor building, it will get rejected out of hand straight away. So they put in the 4-floor building, make it so they can come back later and put on the extra 2. And then 5 years later, they'll put the planning application in for the extra floors. And then, like, they get the planning permission because, like, well, yeah, fucking, the building's already there. Who gives a fuck if you put another two floors on? And that's how they do it. So it seems they've come up with this plan just to get planning permission. And then we'll have to wait and see what they actually put in, and how they actually do it, because these big projects like this, they put in initial planning application to get approval, and then literally they have to put in numerous other planning applications throughout the whole building process, one by one, for what they're going to do, and get permission for that. So it might be something like that. We are literally have there's going to be like 20 planning applications have to go through, and each one of them is going to have to be signed off as we go through the next couple of years. So there you have it. It does look impressive, that, but will they build it? Will this get built? Who knows? Who knows? So moving on now to this. This is from millfc.co.uk. Ticket purchases to close Monday evening. So next Monday, online, telephone and in-person purchases frozen. You will not be able to buy a ticket. So from 5 PM on Monday the 6th of June, supporters will not be able to complete any purchases online, in person or via telephone until Thursday the 9th of June. Mill's ticket office will remain open to assist with inquiries, but purchasing will be halted in order to implement upgrades to the ticketing website system. Okay. Should there be any further update on a renovation, the club will communicate accordingly. So basically, if it's going to take longer or if it's finished earlier, they'll let you know. But you cannot buy a ticket from after 5 PM Monday 6th of June. So if you were looking to buy a ticket, you're going to have to do it this week. And if you try and do it next week, you probably won't be able to do until Friday. And that coincides with this. Secure your seat before the 6th of June deadline. If you are a season ticket holder from last season and you want to renew your seat and sit in the same seat, you have the deadline on Monday the 6th of June, 5 PM. If you do not renew before the deadline, your seat will be released for other supporters to purchase. Millwall fans that wish to transfer their season ticket seat, purchase a new season ticket, can do so from Thursday the 9th of June. So there you go. You've got until 5 PM Monday 6th of June to buy a ticket, or buy your season ticket, or if you're a new season ticket holder, buying that. Moving on now to this, we're going to finish with this from millfc.co.uk. We've got a new what do you call it, sponsor, kind of. You know how they have these like little sponsorship things that they have. They call them partners and stuff. So we've got a new one. Champions Travel become official match break partner. 3-year partnership agreed. Now I think this is Champions Travel. I think they're an Irish firm, and what they do, it seems Millwall have signed a deal with them to offer trips, people abroad coming to Millwall. So here you go. We'll have a read of this and have a look. Millwall Football Club is delighted to announce an agreement with Champions Travel to become its official match break partner for the next 3 years. Champions Travel will offer international supporters the opportunity to purchase packages and visit the Den. Kevin Ward, Champions Travel Managing Director, said, "Here at Champions Travel, we believe in creating official partnerships with football clubs from all over the world so we can provide fans with various packages so they can watch their favourite team. We are delighted to add Millwall Football Club to our portfolio of club partnerships on a multi-year contract." Kevin continued to say, "Millwall is a club steeped in tradition and we are proud to be the club's only official match break partner. We are very excited for the EFL Championship fixture release on June 23rd after a successful season post-COVID-19. We are delighted to be partnering with Champions Travel for the next 3 years," Millwall's head of partnerships and hospitality, Andrew Stade, said. They will provide supporters globally with fantastic match break packages, allowing the club to engage with a wider audience. We look forward to working with Kevin and his team. Millwall match break packages will be available to supporters around the world via Champions Travel's website. Indeed, and this company, they do things like if you wanted to go to America and watch an NFL game, they do that kind of thing. Grand Prix, stuff like that. So that's what they do. They're like a travel agent for sporting trips, kind of thing. And Millwall are offering their services to them, which I don't know if you noticed, we do get quite a few tourists down there. A lot of foreigners in the stands. Americans, South Americans, Asians, Orientals. There's quite a few coming down to Millwall now, and yeah, we've now signed a deal with this company to step that up. Not only that, but you've got to remember the Recast app. The Recast app is a global app. There is no region lock on the videos that are on Recast, so that is around the world. And I don't know, we don't know yet, but we suspect that some of Millwall's actual games will be shown on Recast because the club have bailed out of iFollow, so they may be putting them on Recast. We don't know about that. We're pretty sure the pre-season games will be, some of them will be on the Recast app. Under 23 games certainly, they've been doing them already. So the Recast app is available around the world, and we'll see how that gets on. So there you go, and that is it for today's video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.